Hey everybody, I hope you all having a great day so far. And a great morning. The weather's really nice here today, which I would expect by April for everything to start getting hot. But, yeah, still pretty comfortable. Having a pretty good morning. A bit tired, I don't really know why, I guess just because it's starting to get to the end of the week, but I think I'm ready to do some programming. Alright, so today we're going to focus on mostly the terrain art, which I've been doing for a while. And yeah, I mean, it's not too bad right now. It's just a little simple. But I am pretty happy with the variation that the occlusion gives. You know, I should maybe try it with more subdivisions and see how that looks. Okay, yeah, so let's just do 2 there and 1 here and see how that looks. If it's not quite so blotchy. I mean, it's not too bad right now, but there's a noticeable difference. It's kind of hard to tell unless I saw them back to back, but I think this is slightly better. Look at the mesh. Yeah, it's not too crazy. But I think one of the biggest problems right now is that obviously all the terrain is pretty featureless. There's no skybox, so it just looks unfinished in general. And yeah, the edges aren't complete, so yeah, for now it just gives me a vibe of just being unfinished, which I think is one reason why I'm not super like warmed up to it, but I just gotta push through until we get there. Hey Ice Boy, glad you could make it so early in the stream. How are you doing today? I hope that my tips gave you or helped a bit with writing characters. It is a difficult thing to do. That's a little strange right there. I had to mess with the shadow bias because I was getting a lot of artifacts like this, but I'm still getting them. Maybe it's because it didn't save, I don't know. Yeah, but if I do it too far, then the tail starts to look really weird. I don't really know I'm glad you're doing well. Yeah, pretty good here too. The shadows, like, I'm not really sure what's going on here. I don't. Obviously, it's a shader issue, but I don't know why the game has decided, or Unity has decided to just apply a shadow to the corner of the terrain like that. Let me see. That at least makes it not, the shadows not swim, but okay, I don't think this does anything. Okay, that's a little crazy. The cold, it's still here a little bit, mostly just stuffy nose, but it's better in general. Hey, thanks for asking. Oh, there we go. If I do hard shadows, it gets rid of some of it, but then we get aliasing. Obviously, adding more resolution fixes it a little bit. I don't know. I'll need to mess around with the shadows some more. Don't have a whole lot of experience with them. I wonder if it is my shader or if it's Unity. I guess I could test it out by applying yeah, see, this is just weird. Why? Like, it's not even at the edge. It's like, and then it just has a hard break right there. Let me see. Okay, so if I change this material to, well, I guess I have to do all the terrain, but if I change it to the standard material, does it still have? Oh, it's gonna complain now, I guess. Okay, well, yeah, let's look into that more later. That's all what I wanted. Investigate. Weird. That's not how you spell it either. Shadows on terrain. Yeah, I've had that issue continuously, but okay, but yeah, as we saw here, this is kind of like the terrain I'm trying to, like the style. Again, it's Minion's art. I really like the style that she has here. And I feel like one thing that they do is brighten the terrain as it moves towards the edges here. So that might be a good way to help show like hex faces as well. So maybe we can use the occlusion to do that. And then yeah, again, it's interesting here because here it gets darker as you move upwards instead of brighter. So But yeah, I think one problem also with this, yeah, is that each of the hexagons just kind of melt into each other, which I want them to a little bit, because that's the whole point of blending the terrain, obviously. And then especially the cliffs need to have, like if you turn off the shadows on the post-processing, then you can't really even tell where the slopes begin, except where you get the rim lighting. And also, I might not want rim lighting on terrain either, but we'll see about that. Yeah, so a couple things. The rim lighting, and I might not want terrain to cast shadows, because that just causes issues. I think they'll look better if it's not quite black. Anyway, okay, so what do I want to start with? I guess let's still work with the terrain decoration doodads. Yeah, so maybe yeah, lighten. Let's see. I'll put it there. I need just to have edge. What do I want to call this? Highlighting, I guess. Yeah, so lighten edges of hexagons with occlusion, probably. And then maybe I can see about having the edges affect the height map as well, like the edges of hexagons are slightly lower or something. And then we'll also just need some kind of grid renderer to make it really clear where the edges of the hexagons are when we're trying to select one. Anyway, so we worked on these yesterday, and I left with the question about whether I wanted this map object to specify the spawn position and rotation, or if I would have like a separate doodad object that would have that. And I think I'm leaning towards the second option, because also it's like a character dance. Because also like the monster obviously doesn't need this model in here, but that's not a huge deal. It's just one object. And then the other types of things we'll have here is a camera and a light, and they don't need the model either. So I think it's better to have another object for this. Okay, so let's just call it, yeah, map doodad, I guess. And this will just be any type of model that's on the map that doesn't really have any gameplay effect. Okay, so this will have ent map object ID. Oh wait, no. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. This will just have the model. Oh, if I can type. And then a vector 3 for the starting position. Say spawn position, and I guess relative to the block. And then I guess we'll have to have the infector or the int for parent block. And then we'll need to have a rotation as well. Yeah, as soon as you jumped, your name popped up. Yeah, I'm not sure what makes the names become visible. I think that if you chat, they do. I'm not sure what else. And I need to look into moving them up a little bit. Anyway, let's see. On the game data, we'll just need another list. Oh wait, no, this wouldn't be in the game data, this would be in the battle as well. Let me see. And I wonder, will this stuff need to be, I don't think it will need to be saved. Because it will just be regenerated when the game restarts, I think. Because I don't think there's any way that a player could really affect them. So yeah, I don't need to add them into the battle log is what I was thinking. Okay, so now back here. I guess I'll delete that. Okay, so map doodad equal r is the battle. Yeah, doodad's map object owner ID. And then this will actually be the doodad model. Okay. So the position is a hex position. I thought this would take a vector 3. Okay, I think I should change this to use the same type of coordinate system as the other position commands. So does this... Okay, no, we just have the raw position here. It doesn't get changed. Oh, we do get the model position. Alright, because it's in game units, so we want to transfer the game units to Unity's world units. And really, they're just scaled, I think. Okay, so the game units, yeah, they're also in hexagon space instead of like 3D Cartesian space. I guess that's okay, but I almost think that this should be, or we should convert from the hexagon space to just normal 3D space before we send it here. In case, because right now it's, if we wanted to specify a coordinate system or position in this 3D space, that's not possible. Or wait, no. No, I think, yeah, this is just in 3D space actually because yeah, because we just set our 1 unit in world space is the radius of a hexagon. Okay, so I was getting confused there. Okay, there's one weird thing that the height, or like the y coordinate system, has a different units than x and z. I kind of think that could cause problems, because if I tried to find the distance and it had a change in y, we would get a weird result, so I think that's probably not a good idea to do. Okay, so let's, this might break some things. Okay, but for the hexagon to world, we want to actually use the height of a layer. Okay, so this is given in layers, and I need to... so I think it'd be easiest if I don't reuse this function, actually. So public static float get world unit. And we'll just return this. Okay, and so here I won't call toWorld. Let's say float unit equals get world unit metrics, and we'll return a new vector 3. So the x will be the same as c.x times unit, and then y will be the weird thing because that's the one that uses the layers. Okay, so the layer is given also in those world units. So I guess it'd be c dot rb hex dot layer times metrics layer height. Okay, I guess that's all I have to do. It's just when we use a vector 3, we just specify the the height in just normal game units instead of these layer heights. So let me see. What uses this 2-world? A lot of things. Just a position generation system. Okay, but wait, that's okay. And then hex math. Get model position. Well, that's yeah. If we give it a hex position, that's fine. Yeah, that doesn't. We need to update that code anyway, so I don't care. What uses this version? Oh, nothing. I thought the positioner did. Oh no, the positioner is given hex math. Okay, so I think again. Okay, yeah. So these just use to get model position, which is the 2-world. Okay, so that's how most of the code is interacting with that. Okay, so let me look. The only other place I can think of where that code might have messed something up is in here. Don't I have, yeah, world position. Okay, where does this come from? Okay, no, it's, yeah, in game units. I should rename that. Okay, this is what I'm trying to fix. Okay, so yeah, the Lua units, I think I should use different words here. This will be 2 Cartesian. Oh, I see the problem. Yeah, so Lua uses a different coordinate system than the game. Okay, I'm confusing myself now. Divide by square root of 3, so 1 unit is the diameter of a hexagon from east to west. Okay, I see what I'm trying to do. I guess this is fine because thing is I just need this hexagon layer to be given also in the same units as this. Okay, so I think what I need to do is just divide the whole thing by square root of 3. Oh, what did I... X position, square root of 3. Oh, I can't do that. Just... I gotta do it in the arguments again. Okay, and so if I want to convert this back to game units, I just multiply it all by square root of 3. Okay. The only thing I don't like about this is that one unit in the Z is not like one layer up on the terrain, but I think that's okay. I just need to give a layer height variable somewhere in case the code ever needs to use that. Okay, so what about this? Where is this used, for instance? So just in the world position. That's using the board position, okay. Okay, and this is where we transform back to the game units. Okay, so I guess, let me see here. We just want to convert, right now this is just one unit is layer space, so we want to convert it to be in the radius, or hexagon radius space. So one hexagon radius, I guess, is square root of 3. Let's see, so yeah, if it's 0 columns, it starts at 0, and then 1 column, which would move 1 over. Yeah, it would be just square root of 3. So, so do I need to just divide this by square root of 3? But then I double divide it. Oh no, I just multiply this by square root of 3. Okay, yeah. It's a little too early for geometry. Okay, so now, yeah, because one layer just is one unit up, and then one unit is square root of 3. In these, the hexagon space. Okay, I think I have this all figured out. Although it's funny, after this, game units just goes back to being... Is that right? Okay, let me see. So for example, if layer was exactly half of the radius of a hexagon, then I'd want this to be like 1, 1, 2 after I do this calculation. So I guess what I really need to know is the height of a layer, which I don't think is given here anywhere. Okay, the board position is an actual hexagon, and so this does not really matter. These units don't matter here. Okay, so let's have, I think the best way to do this is actually have like a... Well, no, I was gonna say we could have like a static variable here, but I don't know how static variables work with Lua. Do I, trying to see if I have a good class that would to add this to. Battle state? No. Don't I have like a position helpers? That would be a good one. Yeah, right here. So public, float, layer, height. I guess I could do this also for the hexagon. Float, hex diameter, and this would just return 1, that's the whole point of this. Okay, and the layer height. Is something like hex radius and world is a database. Oh, I don't have a reference to that. Equals registry database. Oh, the registry doesn't have that, it's the game link. Okay, so this would be the link database metrics. Okay, so the hexagon radius is metrics dot hex radius plus the margin length divided by 2. But yeah, we actually want to multiply this by 2 because we want to get the diameter, so. But I think it's actually easier for me anyway, even though it's a bit redundant. But I want to find the radius and then multiply it by 2. Let's just call this unit actually. And this will just be a hex diameter. It'd be nice if I could just reuse this hex math class, but it's in the UX. I guess the question is, should I move it out? Because I already have this get world unit. But this is different because the world unit in here is 1 hexagon radius and not a diameter. Okay, this is getting kind of confusing, but it's okay, they can all be different. But actually, I guess they need to be the same because the hex math. Well, no, it doesn't matter. Okay. Because we convert between them. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling here. Okay, so anyway, what we want to do is convert the height given in the layer, given in the board metrics into these units of hex diameter. So it'd just be layer height divided by unit. Because right now, yeah, both of these. Is that right? Or isn't it unit divided by layer height? Yeah, that's... I got it backwards. Okay, yeah, because if layer height is... Wait, no, is this right? Okay, so like I said, if unit is 2, for example, and then the layer height is 4, then we want the layer height that we return here to be 2 because it's 2 units. So yeah, that'd be layer height divided by a unit. Okay. Sorry, like I said, it's a bit early for this much math. I was in the mood for art, not geometry. But anyway, okay. Now I've got that. Then world position, so I need to... convert this layer times... do I have the game link in here? No. I need this because I need to get that reference for the height. So, why did I do that? Oh, because this is static. So this will be layer height in game units. No, okay, let's just go ahead and pre-compile this, and I just won't have this return. Okay, I feel like I'm going to mess things up here. Okay, so here, where do I actually use this? Just in the move animation helper to find the target position. So yeah, this game unit should return things in the same units as this 2 Cartesian, which is what I was trying to do. Okay, I feel like I need to write this down. Let's just call this units. Okay, so positions. I know this is terribly exciting, but okay, so in game logic, 1 unit is the radius of a hexagon, including the margin. And then in Lua interface and scripts, 1 unit is the diameter. of a hexagon, again including the margin. And then in Unity, 1 unit. What is it, actually? It's just what's given by the mods, isn't it? Yeah, that's hex radius plus margin length. I guess maybe what I should do to simplify this is that I should just have the game logic use these same units. That way I won't have to scale everything to match with Unity, because the game logic still knows these values. It's not like it's some hidden thing in Unity. And then if for some reason I want Unity to scale everything again, then it can do it on its own. Okay, so maybe even Lua should use the same, because the mods actually specify the radius of a hexagon. Yeah, so maybe I've been making everything more complicated than it needs to be. Okay, so is the hexagon radius as given by the framework mod plus half the margin length. Okay, and so this is same as game logic. And then also, let's just have this be same as the game logic. Now rotations, I think the way I have this is already pretty good. But in the game logic, and also in scripts, 0 is north, and then it proceeds, if I can spell it, clockwise, and then units. Okay, let's do it this way. And radians, but then in Unity, I think 0 is east. Excuse me, is east. It also proceeds clockwise, and then units and degrees. But I think I already took care of that. I guess I closed it. Yeah, this model rotation. Actually, is 0 north or is 0 east? I forget how I did it. Let me see. I should have wrote it down somewhere. Angle 0. Okay, it is due east. That's what now that I'm thinking about it, that makes more sense, because the default facing for a monster when you're trying to make the model, excuse me, is the face due east. Okay, and this actually rotates counterclockwise. Well, that's how it works in math, actually. So I think that's why I wanted to do that. So do I flip it back again? Okay, let me test something. If I bring up, let's see how Unity space actually works. Oop, some errors. Okay, so I'm gonna take the rotation around the z-axis And if I just do, well, let's look at it straight down. Oh yeah, Y is up. Never mind. Okay, it is actually counter. No, it's clockwise. So how come I don't negate it in this hex math? Maybe because I've already taken care of it. Oh no, because I think it's because the game logic uses clockwise as well. So it's only the Lua that uses counterclockwise, it looks like. Yeah, so I negate it here. Okay, so negate because Lua scripts have rotation counter clockwise. Yeah, the reason I did that is because the counterclockwise rotation is more what I'm used to because it's more mathematical, so. But Unity likes everything to be clockwise. I guess I could just have it all be the same. Probably would be easier that way. I should have decided on this earlier. Alright, and so in Lua, 0 is still east, but it proceeds counterclockwise and units in radians. Okay, so do I want to switch that around? I mean, it's not really that difficult to just negate the number, but it might be easier if everything is the same. Not a whole lot uses the angles right now, so it's not like it'd be that hard to change. I guess it's much easier now before script. There's a lot of before I write a whole lot more scripts, but this just gets the facing object. Okay, I think I will just have it rotate clockwise because that's how it works in Unity. That's probably better because, yeah, the mod editor is going to be in Unity, so it will be easier if everything's just the same. Okay, so I can get rid of this because now I have this reference sheet. I think all I have to really do to fix that is, yeah, change that negation, and then here when we get rotation, I just won't negate that. Okay, so now these are all the same except Unity is in degrees, and that's just how it is. Okay, so now I need to go back to converting all the positions. So this hexagon should just take the board metrics. Okay, so I guess let's just call this vector 2 unscaled. Okay, and I guess I can actually make this a vector 3. And then we'll return vector 3. And let's look here again. So yeah, 1 unit is this hexagon radius given by framework mod and half the margin length. Okay, so float unit is metrics dot x radius plus margin length divided by 2. Okay, so one thing I do want to change actually is that Unity will have Y facing up, but for the game logic I want Z to face up. So that won't be that difficult. Okay, Z is up. And then Y is up just because that's the way Unity works. Oh, that's not right. I want unscaled dot x times unit, and then unscaled dot y times unit. And then this will be the layer times the layer height. I don't have to, because layer height is in the same units as the radius, so I don't have to change anything there. Okay, so now there's 2 Lua units, and I guess I'll keep these variables just in case, but really they're gonna be identical now. I think, yeah, this is actually not useful anymore because I can just use the hex to Cartesian and I'd pass the metrics in there, so now I don't need the game link. Okay, yeah, so this, don't need any of that. I think all I'll do is just pass these in directly. Cool, cool. Okay, and then the hex math. Okay, so let's change this to Unity just to make it obvious. So this is converting to Unity space. Okay, and this should be same as... Okay, I actually don't need this because this is the same as game logic, so... Okay, so this will be 2 Cartesian metrics, and all I have to do is flip the x, y, and z around. Because in Unity, z is the second component, or the second component, which is the, I guess comes out of the ground, is the y component, whereas in the game logic, I want that to be the z component. This makes more sense to me. Okay, and this will also be 2 Unity, and I don't even have to pass the metrics for this. Although I guess I'll still pass it just in case I ever change something. And I can probably just return to Unity. C. Okay, so this height, I don't know if I need this. I guess this is still useful because, yeah, if we just have the layer, we need to convert that to Unity. Units instead of it being just, I don't know, layer units. Oops. Okay, this is still fine. Okay, I feel like I need, since I'm standardizing this unit, I should have an easy way to access it. So maybe in hex position, I'll just have a static function that will return the unit. That's just this. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have to pass the board metrics. Okay, so I have to do that because, yeah, mathematically it goes counterclockwise. Excuse me. So now I need to pass the board metrics here, unfortunately. And then down here I can just call length unit metrics. Okay, so now back to the hex math. There we go. Okay, so here I don't subtract by 1, I actually subtract by the layer height. Okay, so I think I've fixed everything. There's probably going to still be some errors in here. Because I actually need to pass the metrics now. Okay, this doesn't have the game link, unfortunately. And down here, I'll just pass that through. Really? Oh, right. It's just hex position, get R2 Cartesian. Okay, and the facing, yeah, I need to pass the metrics to all these as well. And I probably don't have it. Okay, that's good. Okay, the little object registry just needs to pass the board metrics to a bunch of stuff. Oh, I think the order is different here. And what does this need? I think I just wanted to give it. It just asked for the link outright now. And then the board position needs the metrics. Can't remember where I placed it in there. Okay, it must be flipped. It wouldn't let me preview the constructor while there was still an error there. Okay, so just a couple more. Let's pass that through, and now obviously whatever called this is going to need to be updated. So link, database. There we go. And lastly, okay, the creator, which is what started all this. Okay, so what I want to do is change these position commands to just have a vector 3. And the rotation, we don't really handle... Well, these rotations don't handle rotation except around the y-axis, but I think I might as well. So we'll pass a quaternion through there. Okay, so anything that uses these commands are going to need to be updated. Okay, so we got the hex position, then we just convert it to Cartesian. So what I do here, it would be, let's do hex math to quaternion. Okay, except yeah, I should use the get model rotation and stuff. Do I not in the monster? Monster creator? Well, I guess I'll figure out in a second. Okay, so this should be hex math. Get R2 unity. Oh wait, get model position. Okay, and we actually just use the doodad spawn position, which is not, well, it's relative though, so we need to figure out the position of the block. Okay. So vector 3, parent position equals hex math to unity hex position from board index. And so this will be the board. And then the doodad's owner ID. Or parent block. Okay, then I gotta pass the metrics through. Oh. There we go. No, it also needs the metrics. Okay, and then here is hex math. Well, do I supply a quaternion or a vector? Okay, a quaternion. That's probably better. In that case, I'll need to create a new version of this that will take that. Okay, it's not going to do it for me. But, so really, since it's already a quaternion, I don't have to convert it. Yeah, because unity quaternions have to be in degrees. I still don't really know why they do that. I should write a note. Exception with quaternions which must be in degrees. And I'm not about to create my own quaternion that's in radians, so yeah, we just passed that through, but I'm going to still have that in case I ever need to change something. Okay, so there we go. Monster model will need to also be updated. Or wait. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, these should be passed in game logic, and then they convert to Unity units when it's received. So, I mean, this should still be a vector 3, though. Do I not have the game data here? Oh, this is different, yeah. So private. Thought this was a monster creator at first. Okay, so that's good. But yeah, I need to update this because... yeah, I don't change it to the model position yet. Okay, so that's still good. Okay, so I guess I don't need to do anything there. Okay, except it's not a quaternion. I don't really know if this is the right class to hold this, but for now, static, quaternion to quaternion, around up, float angle. It already has this information about angles and everything. So the way to do this is just quaternion axis angle, or is it the other way around? One of them is deprecated. Okay, yeah, so they want to use angle axis. I don't really know why they made a big deal about that. And so I need to transform this to degrees. So radians 2 degrees, and then vector 3 up. Ooh, you got your switch avatar. Looks cool. Now you're all decked out. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, and then this is fine because it's already in quaternion. And then the positioner, yeah, we just convert it to model position at that point. And then I need to do the same thing for the linear mover. When I think about it, I think it might already be like this. Yeah, it's just already a vector 3. But I should make sure that all uses of it adhere to this. Instead of doing that, let's look at the target position. Glad you like it. Yeah, I think they're a fun little thing. Definitely add a bit of character to programming streams, which I know can get a little dry, so. Okay, so actually the only thing that ever calls this is this move command. And we already updated that to use this space. Okay, so that's good to see. Then here, yeah, we just take that and convert it to a model position. But probably the arc height should already be in game position. Our game height, so I'm not gonna change that any. Okay, so what about rotation? I don't think that's used quite as much. Okay, that's still fine. And then the rotation animator. Okay. Let's call this around up, just to make things simple. And then I'll just call hex math quaternion. What is it? Oh, not hex math. It should be hex position. Okay, so now I think I'm finally done updating all these units, and I guess I'll, okay, a bit more. Get neighbor angle. Oh yeah, so I just pass hex position to quaternion around up. So hopefully nothing will go exceedingly wrong. I think I figured everything out. Okay, so there is an error somewhere. Object not set to an instance. Oh, I see. I can't... Yeah, so the best way to do this would actually be not to cache that. That wasn't that big of a change. Yeah, I'm always surprised about how long it takes to recompile sometimes. You just change something little and Unity decides to take 30 seconds to... I guess, yeah, the compile time is not really dependent on the number of changes, but it's still surprising. Okay, so far so good. It looks the same. If I try to move a character, this will be a good test. Okay. Rotation is a bit weird. But they ended up in the right place, so I think it has more to do with my Lua script. Okay, let's try to figure this out real quick. What's the right ability scripts? I think it has something to do with this towards angle. Probably because I switched around. Or wait. Yeah, because I'm making everything rotate clockwise now. And I think before it was counterclockwise. Okay, so let me close everything. So we just use get neighbor angle. Towards facing. Oh yeah, that's towards angle negates it. Rotation direction. Oh, I hope this didn't change. Okay. That was not... I mean, that was pretty painless. Okay, so I kind of want to test... I did a lot of... testing here. But I think that it just depends on get angle. Which did change a little bit, but we just... It shouldn't have affected the cosines and things. Okay, yeah, so this shouldn't have changed, thankfully. Alright, so now I think I'm ready to finally create some doodads. Or spawn some, I should say. So, how do I want to do this? Well, let's just hard code it for now. And then I'll figure out how mods can supply this information. So what I kind of want to do is that you'll be able to give like a chance for a doodad to spawn on a certain type of terrain. But do I want it to work like that? Because like obviously blocks that are underground won't actually have anything. And maybe I should just leave it up to the map generation function to deal with this. I guess I could have a helper function to do it. Let's see. What about if I did something like this? So board generation probably should be a different function actually, or a different class here. I really need to update this script. This might be a good excuse to go ahead and do it. But I'd like something like, I don't know, let's just say map doodads, decorate surface blocks with prototype, and then we pass the prototype, which would be yeah, also here I just pass stone, but maybe I should pass the prototype object itself. But anyway, so we'd pass some type of prototype, and then I need to have the model here. Don't really know. Probably need to have just a doodad object. And then it would go through and find all blocks on the surface with a dirt prototype and then spawn pebbles on them. Yeah, and then I need to have some way to specify like the positions of them. Maybe we'd have a helper function here. So function pebble, and then I don't know, board position. And then you could return an offset for this pebble. So if we want everything to be centered, which we might as well do now, you would just return a world position 0, 0, 0. I don't think this is the right way to do that, but and this should spawn a pebble in the middle of every dirt. I guess another way to do this would be, I don't know, something like pebble dot spawn position equals, or we could even just use a normal position. Okay, the problem. Okay, now this would be like the spawn, or no, something like position offset. But I'm trying to figure out if this is actually good, because what if we wanted to support multiple pebbles on a dirt tile? But I kind of like to have some way to let scripts have an easy way to add these doodads. I guess another thing we could do would be something like, I don't know, board, or we do something like this, 4 block and board surface blocks with our of prototype. And then we could do something like a local pebble, or let's see, number, oh, not int. So local number on block is random. I don't actually do random numbers yet. Okay, I guess that's another thing I need to add. Random numbers are actually a lot more difficult than you'd think, because I've got to make sure that every time this map generation function runs, it generates the same sequence of random numbers, so that it's deterministic, that every time you restart the game you'll have the same results. But obviously it'd be different for each separate game, if that makes sense. But like if you're trying to reload, it would give you the same result. Okay, so how do I want to do random? I guess I'll just have a random class. I think Lua has a random generator itself, but we can't use that. Get between 0 and 3. I guess integer between. I'll be fine for now. Let's do 2, but and then for I don't really care about the number, but and 1 to number on block do. And all this just means is that I don't care about this variable, so the underscore I usually just put in there as a dummy. Okay, so now we would spawn the pebble, so local pebble is... Okay, how do I want to do this? I guess we'll just do map doodads create. Guess we'll give it a model. Now this is another thing. Do I want the model to be... I kind of want it to be given by name instead of index, so I guess I'll just say dirt pebble. And then pebble dot position offset is... It'd be nice if I had like random inside hexagon. World position random in hex. So now this will give me some world position that's a random inside a hexagon. I'll need to create that, but yeah, so I think this is kind of what we'll go for. It's not quite as like fancy as this one. Because like I don't know an easy way to call this function whenever, and or have like a helper function like this, but have it so it also can decide like the number on a block or something. I guess I could give it min and max. And I would just pick random between. I don't know if that was really that much helpful. And I'm not going to worry about it now, but obviously later on when we can move blocks around, we'll want to be able to spawn pebbles like if a dirt block is revealed. Excuse me, revealed. But yeah, so definitely we'll be able to create map doodads even during play mode. So we'll do something like this. So now I need to create these functions. Alright, so let me see. Okay, so they're not going to be spawned automatically, but and okay, so these are like some new Lua functions that I'll need for this. Not, I will need the surface blocks of prototype. Oh, I just want to paste text only. Let me see what else. So also, yeah, I'll need to. I think I should pass a prototype object in here instead of using the name. Okay. I don't really need to have a bunch of little to-do items there. It's just going to clutter the script up. I can just look here and see what I need to do. Okay, got a few more minutes. Alright, so since I'm going to be messing with the map generation function, I think I don't have a reason to put off not updating it now. Let's look. Map generation in general is kind of broken right now. Well, it's just, I guess, held together by tape, basically. Oh, where is it? Generation. Okay, so the map creator. I don't really want to go through and update all the logic around this. Like the entire map generation phase yet, because when, like I keep on saying, when Unity's new version comes out, I'll be rewriting some of this anyway to use the entity component system. So for now, I'll just focus on bringing the Lua script up to par. And really, the only weird thing, I mean, it works okay, but this is using this board generator. It doesn't give you errors like right when you run them in the script. It waits until after the script executes, which is like not horrible, but it makes it a little bit harder to debug, I think. What's this? Start. Oh yeah, that's just what the field is like at the beginning. Okay, so let's first start with the field builder, whatever this is. I think it's kind of like a temporary what's the word? Temporary board. But yeah, back here I actually called it a field, so I kind of think I'll rename everything. Okay, I should rename this. Okay, so yeah, what this does, yeah, basically just has the size of the board and then any blocks that the mods have set. And then what would happen is you would fill this out, and then at the end the map creator would go through and create the map. Because basically it just initializes everything to 0, and then it looks through every block that's been set in here and just inserts those prototypes. So I think that's fine, but really the only thing I want to change is I just want the builder to notify scripts of errors like right away. For instance, here it says if it's a bad prototype, it only tells you that when it's compiling the map instead of when you're trying to set it. But let's look at the Lua side of this. Okay, so what's this block? Okay, it's just a map of the board builders. Okay, and then this active should be used. Oh, one thing I want to do, I know, is I want to use the asynchronous Lua execution so that I could do like pathfinding during map generation. Let me see. Okay, this is... So really I just want to be able to create this class before the play phase. Okay, the only problem is it has this play exception, but everything else I think would work right away. Yeah, these play components and stuff. It's going to be messy for a while until I can refactor everything with the new Unity version. Let me see. Okay, so I've got to do something with the play exception. Maybe I would just get a reference to each, and then the async request handler would be smart enough to only call the right exception for the right phase, or I could have a separate message for like Lua exceptions. Yeah, maybe I'll do something like that. I'm sorry again, that came out of nowhere. Alright, so let me see. Right now this is just created in the play controller, so I guess I just need to create another one. Well, actually, it need to be created before this, like during the Lua phase. Okay. Well, the easiest way, even if it's not really that what's the word? Like it's kind of wasteful, would just be to create a whole new one whenever we exit the map generation and come into the play phase, which I think that's what I'm going to do now, instead of trying to rewrite the way this works. Like I said, I can already visualize how I want it to work in the new entity component system, but it's supposed to come out this month. I can't wait. Anyway, let me see. So let's just create it here. New Lua async. Okay, so it needs to play subcontroller. Well, that's not actually true. We can just take any old autocontroller, I think. Okay, and I want to change this to just on error. Rename. Okay, how often do I even call this? I think it's just like once. Oh, well, there could be a bunch of different exceptions. Oh yeah. Yeah, runtime exception. Oh, they're all just runtime exceptions. Oh, async script yield without requests. Bad arguments. Okay, so public class Lua async exception will just be subclass of the exception class, and public Lua. Oh, I didn't spell that right. Async. Okay, and then we'll just have an enumeration type. Okay, so yeah, I always like to have none be the default, and then we'll have runtime exception, bad argument, and then yield without. What was the other one? Yield without request. And then for base, I need to have some kind of message here. So string format Lua async script exception, and then I'll just give a type. I guess we'll also need to save a reference. Why did it do that? There we go. Okay, and so now I need to change the messages. Claim that. Okay, Okay, so I need to find all the play exceptions in here and change it to an async request, excuse me, request exception, and this would be yield without request. And then bad argument. Oh, what's not like about that? It's not connecting constructor. It takes 2. Oh, I need to have the Lua. Or yeah, the Lua message. So public read only string message. Okay, and then we'll save this. Where else? Play exception. Okay, I don't want the current project, I just want the current document actually. Okay, so nothing else. Okay. Well, I better finish up because I'm starting to get pretty hungry, and yeah, it's about 5 minutes past 1, so let me see. Well, we can break on that. I actually map generation to async handler outside play phase. That's what I'm doing right now. So I need to update Pathfinder and other helpers to use async exception, or at least run outside the play phase. And then update play phase to handle async exceptions, and then also update map gen phase to handle async exceptions. All right. So this all shouldn't be too bad. I'm kind of questioning like if this is going to be worthwhile, because like I said, I'm planning to rewrite a bunch of this code to use Unity's new entity component system when that comes out. So I don't really want to do too much, I guess, refactoring until then, but I don't want to do a whole lot of work updating the Lua scripts if it's not going to be the final version. I guess we still need to decouple this from the play phase anyway, so I don't know. I'll have to... We'll see how far I want to go with it tomorrow, but... Yeah, so I didn't really get much art done today, but hopefully tomorrow we can finish up with the programming and get back to trying to make the terrain look good. I think... Actually, I don't think the game will run right now, unfortunately, because the map generation script will reference null objects. Okay. There we go. Oh, is this taking forever to compile? Yeah, so attempt to index a nil value at map crater 56. Oh, that wasn't actually... Oh, yeah, map gen 30. me see. Okay, yeah, this board was null because I wasn't sure what variable I would want to actually put this function into, but anyway, yeah, I guess I better start wrapping it up. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll be back tomorrow at around noon Eastern. Feel free to follow me here on Twitch or also on my Twitter if you want to be notified when I go live. Like I said, someday soon I hope I'll be able to stream more during the afternoon and evening, so they'll be more like kind of not quite as scheduled as my normal stream is because I won't know exactly in my schedule when I'll be able to do it, but we'll see. And then I also have a YouTube channel where I upload everything if you'd like to catch up on any VODs, and a Discord channel where you can chat with me throughout the day. I'd love to have you there. And I'll put links in chat, and also you can check out my video description if you're interested. But yeah, I guess that's it for me for today, and I hope you all have a great time, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.